Now to the battle against COVID-19, the whiplash tonight after the FDA delays the review of Pfizer's vaccine for children under 5, saying they want more data. It comes amid some good news, though, that cases continue to drop. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos with the latest.
Tonight, a stunning reversal. Just days before an expert panel was set to meet, the FDA and Pfizer announcing regulators will need more time before deciding whether to authorize the vaccine for children under 5.
You're done. At this time, it makes sense for us to wait until we have the data from the evaluation of a third dose before taking action.
Pfizer had signaled that 3 doses of the vaccine will be needed after 2 doses failed to produce a strong immune response in 2 to 4-year-olds. But the trial data from that third dose won't be available until early April.
Pulling back right now, getting all the data is the right thing to do. It should be encouraging that we aren't trying to push this too quickly.
But the delay is a setback for millions of parents eager to get their young kids vaccinated.
When it was available, we got right on it, so we wanted it for the kids, too, to be able to kind of be out in the world some more. So, yeah, it's unfortunate.
It makes me err more on the side of caution over the vaccine, and I'm in no rush.
18 million kids under 5 are still not eligible for a vaccine. But a recent poll showed just 3 in 10 parents would get them vaccinated right away. And tonight, a new CDC study finds Pfizer and Moderna boosters were highly effective at keeping people out of the hospital. But that effectiveness decreased after about 4 months, raising the possibility that some people, like the elderly or those with health conditions, may need a 4th dose.
There's certain people whose immune systems are not functioning at peak efficiency. And so certainly those 65 and older may well need to have an additional dose.
It comes as new COVID cases plunge to their lowest levels since Christmas, and more mask mandates are dropping by the day. In New York City, protests against COVID mandates as municipal workers face a vaccination deadline. About 3,000 workers, 1% of the workforce, could lose their jobs if they don't get the shot by the end of the day.
And Stephanie joins us now. Stephanie, the FDA was asked about the new timeline for the vaccine in young children and whether the delay had anything to do with the drop in cases we've been seeing. What was the response?
Exactly, Phil. They were. Peter Marks of the FDA says they will work as quickly as possible as that data comes in over the next 2 months. Health officials right now are urging parents to make sure they're vaccinated and also take every precaution possible with their youngest children, like masking. Phil.
Stephanie Ramos, thank you. Joining us now for more is Dr. Peter Hotez, a professor of pediatrics at Baylor College of Medicine. Doctor, thanks so much for taking the time tonight.
Thanks so much for having me.
As a parent, I think a lot of parents are going to say this is a little bit of a setback. I also think safety first, most people would say. Do you think the FDA made the right choice waiting until we get all the data, despite the very high caseload, especially among children?
Well, I think that the decision made today is actually the correct one because this is looking like a 3-dose vaccine, and it was really critically important to wait till you get all of the information on all 3 doses before moving ahead prematurely, just with information on 2 doses. I think what was driving the former decision was the fact that this Omicron wave was landing so many kids in the hospital. Both the FDA and CDC felt some urgency to start the vaccination process sooner rather than later. It was a tough judgment call, but with Omicron having that screaming level of transmission, I think that was the decision then. Now that Omicron is decelerating as fast as it went up, and we're going to be at a nadir, hopefully, if everything goes according to the plan in the same trajectory in a couple of weeks. I think that pressure, that urgency is sort of off. And now we have kind of the luxury of a little bit more time to wait till we fully evaluate the 3 doses. Bottom line, I think it was a good decision to do.
First and foremost, any parent will know this. It is terrifying when your child is sick with anything serious. But then there's this. The Omicron variant, as you mentioned, has been tearing through communities for several months now, especially among children. So what do we know about the severity of the virus for children under the age of 5?
Well, we've seen thousands of kids getting infected and hospitalized. And whether or not this virus is selectively targeting the kids, that's less clear. I think what's happening is this is so transmissible that it's creating a virus blizzard or firestorm, and kids are getting swept up in it. And so a lot of kids are doing quite well with this virus, but a fair number are getting hospitalized and sick, with especially the younger kids with bronchiolitis, older kids with illness that more resembles what's in the teenagers. So the decision to move forward with pediatric vaccinations has been in place for a while. Right now, we have the emergency use authorization of the 5 to 11-year-olds, and we're also evaluating a booster in the 5 to 11-year-olds. Immunocompromised 5 to 11-year-olds are already eligible for a booster. So I think what's happening is the FDA, together with the companies, are moving as fast as they can without any kind of compromise or safety or doing anything prematurely.
So what would you advise parents of children under the age of 5 while the rest of the country has access to the vaccine? This is kind of the last group that is vulnerable. Is there a back to normal if your kids are under 5 and haven't been vaccinated?
Well, not right now, because there is still quite a high level of transmission. Even though it's going down, we're still at around 200,000 new cases a day, which is quite a high level. The good news is it's going down so quickly that within 2 weeks, we could really be near a nadir if it goes down at the same trajectory. The only asterisk I'm putting on that is I am a bit concerned about the BA2 subvariant, whether that starts to accelerate. It's not looking like it so far, but there's always that possibility. But as long as that holds off and the number of cases go down, we'll have the luxury to evaluate the 3 doses. And then if the stars really align, within a month or so, we could be getting back to life that's looking pretty normal, and maybe even relaxing masking restrictions in a number of the schools.
No, that is really good to hear you say. Finally, why do you believe the majority of parents with kids between the ages of 5 and 11 are not getting their children vaccinated? And do you think that will be the same thing when the go-ahead is given to kids under the age of 5?
Yeah, unfortunately, there is a lot of reluctance right now around vaccinating kids, and it's very much regional as well. So, for instance, even among the teenagers, 12 to 17, the rates of vaccination among those groups are double in the Northeast what it is here in the South and in Texas. And these same parents that have the teenagers are having the younger kids as well. And I think we'll have to assume that they're also holding back. Many haven't seen mRNA vaccines for their kids yet. And so I think that may be part of it.
All right, Dr. Peter Hotez, thank you so much for taking the time tonight.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.